The United States is building its largest military base in the Philippines, on the Bataan Islands, just a short distance from Taiwan and the South China Sea. This location is a strategic gateway, sitting at the entrance to the Luzon Strait, a vital route for ships and submarines moving between the Pacific and the South China Sea. The base is designed for rapid response, with runways for aircraft, docks for Navy ships, and advanced communication systems. Its presence allows the U.S. and the Philippines to monitor and control this critical waterway, keeping a close eye on military movements, especially from China. For the U.S., it's a forward position to project power and respond quickly to regional threats. For the Philippines, it's a statement. The country is serious about defending its territory and standing up to Chinese pressure in the South China Sea. The base boosts the Philippines' ability to protect its waters and fishermen, sending a clear message that it is not alone. With American support, Manila is taking new steps to secure its national interests in a challenging neighborhood. The base is more than a military outpost. It's a symbol of a renewed alliance and a shift in the balance of power. Its construction marks a turning point in regional security. The world is watching how this new base will shape the future of the Indo-Pacific. The stakes have never been higher in this strategic corner of Asia. U.S. and Filipino troops are now training side by side at the new base, practicing with advanced missile systems and surveillance planes. These joint exercises are a public show of unity and military strength, meant to deter aggression and keep the region stable. The U.S. has deployed some of its most advanced equipment to the Philippines, signaling its commitment to defend its ally. China, however, sees this growing partnership as a direct threat. Beijing has condemned the new base and joint drills, accusing the U.S. of stirring up trouble near its borders. The Philippines insists it's only protecting its rights and territory, while the U.S. says it's supporting a friend and upholding freedom of navigation. This has led to a tense standoff, with both sides trading accusations and warnings. The situation is a high-stakes chess match, with each move watched closely by the world. The U.S.-Philippine alliance is now a major obstacle to China's ambitions in the region. Every military exercise, every deployment sends a message to Beijing. The Philippines is not alone. The risk of miscalculation is real, and the consequences could be severe. The region is on edge as the world's biggest powers test each other's resolve. The new base has become a flashpoint in the contest for control of Asia's seas. The Luzon Strait, overlooked by the new base, is one of the world's most important maritime choke points. It's a narrow passage connecting the South China Sea to the Pacific, crucial for the movement of warships and submarines. Control of this strait means control over a key route for military and commercial traffic. For the U.S. and its allies, the Luzon Strait is central to their strategy, especially if conflict erupts over Taiwan. The new base gives the U.S. and the Philippines a front-row seat to monitor and, if needed, block Chinese naval movements. This turns the strait into a potential flashpoint, where even a small incident could escalate quickly. Surveillance from the base makes it harder for any side to act in secret, but also raises the risk of confrontation. China's Navy needs access to the Pacific. The U.S. wants to deny it if tensions rise. The Luzon Strait is now a battleground for influence between the world's top military powers. What happens here will shape the security of the entire Indo-Pacific. The stakes are enormous for both sides. The world is watching every move in these narrow waters. China has transformed the South China Sea by building artificial islands and military bases on disputed reefs. These outposts have runways, radar systems, and ports for warships, giving China a powerful presence in the region. China uses aggressive tactics, like water cannons and ramming boats, to intimidate its neighbors, especially the Philippines. These gray zone actions stop short of war, but create constant tension and danger. China's goal is de facto control, to dominate the sea in practice regardless of international law. Filipino fishermen are chased from their traditional grounds, and supply missions to military outposts are harassed. The Philippines faces relentless pressure, with every encounter risking escalation. China's strategy is clear: assert dominance and force others to accept its claims. The region is now a testing ground for power and resolve. In response to China's pressure, the Philippines is overhauling its defense strategy. The focus has shifted from internal threats to protecting its coastline and waters. The government is investing in new ships, planes, and radar, aiming to build a credible deterrent. The new base in Batanes is a centerpiece of this shift toward external defense. Strengthening the alliance with the U.S. is now a top priority, with more joint exercises and intelligence sharing. The Philippines wants to ensure U.S. support if conflict breaks out. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has taken a tougher stance, vowing not to give up any territory. This marks a sharp turn from previous efforts to court China for economic gains. The Philippines is now a key player in the regional security landscape. The challenge defends sovereignty without provoking war. It's a delicate balance in a region where the risks are growing. The U.S.-Philippine alliance is stronger than it's been in decades, anchored by the Mutual Defense Treaty. The Philippines is counting on America's promise to help if attacked, especially in the South China Sea. Joint patrols and military drills have increased, sending a clear message to China. Advanced U.S. weapons are now deployed in the Philippines, deepening the security partnership. Under President Marcos Jr., Manila has firmly aligned with Washington, reversing the previous government's approach. The Philippines is now a central link in America's Indo-Pacific strategy to balance China's power. This alliance changes the calculations for every country in the region. China can no longer pressure the Philippines without risking a U.S. response. The partnership is a cornerstone of efforts to keep the Indo-Pacific free and open. The balance of power in Asia is shifting, and the world is watching. The South China Sea is a powder keg. One mistake could trigger a crisis. Aggressive actions by China's Coast Guard risk deadly accidents and could invoke the U.S.-Philippine Defense Treaty. If conflict erupts, the U.S. could be drawn into direct confrontation with China, an outcome no one wants. A strong deterrent is needed to prevent China from dominating the region and undermining international law. The Philippines, backed by the U.S. and allies like Japan and Australia, is pushing back, carefully to avoid war. The goal, a stable balance where no country can bully its neighbors. But as long as disputes persist, the risk of escalation remains high. The region is now a front line in the U.S.-China rivalry. The new U.S. base is a sign of how serious the contest has become. The world holds its breath, hoping peace will prevail in these tense waters.